video game universe.
Yes.
Tell me about Death Stranding. I'm not a gamer, but I know people are obsessed with Hideo Kojima.
Yes.
So what is your participation? Is that mocap or what?
It is mocap.
How was the experience?
They had to really like kind of walk me through, and I did it, with Léa Seydoux, who's she's in it, and Norman Reedus is the main guy, but also you're all there together, like and I think when I signed up for it, like I didn't know that it would be true acting and scenes and stuff.
Right.
I don't know.
You're going to be in a VO booth and like
yes, which there is a bit of that, but there was like there's like emotional scenes in it, and I'm like, and Hideo's there, and he's like, okay, now you cry, and you're like, oh my god.
So have you seen what you look like in the game? Like, is that a trip to see?
I have, yes, I have seen, but I mean, like the game is, you look like it's me, but he does, you look cool.
Vous pouvez nous en dire un peu plus? Comment va-t-il? Avez-vous des nouvelles? Vous êtes...
Je suis désolée, je peux pas parler de ça. C'est un accident, oui. J'ai renversé quelqu'un. Je suis désolée.
You experienced the single most traumatic thing that ever happened in your life. You experienced at the beginning.
Being born.
Coming out
being born.
Yeah, that's the worst thing that's ever happened to anyone.
It's traumatic, which is typically why we believe that we don't remember it.
Right.
You were ripped from the only world that you ever knew. All of a sudden, the way that you breathed had to change.
The way you eat changed.
You were ripped. You were a part of a person, and now you're not part of that person anymore.
I hate this.
I know.
Barb,
I'm with
thing when you were the most vulnerable, and you survived that. So you can survive anything.
People often ask me, how does one get into acting in video games? And the process is surprisingly simple. Step one, save up your money, buy a decent microphone, and then wait for Nolan North and I to die.
I'm Norman Reedus, and these are real life, real time soup. Can you shut up? I'm doing a thing. I'm doing a thing here. Shut up.
Hideo is one of the most brilliant people I've ever worked with. He tries to explain it. I'm trying to get my head around it. I've never done motion capture before. I'm watching Benedict Cumberbatch do the Lion King or whatever he does, and he's like, Rah! I'm like, oh, he's way better at this than I am. And then I found out they couldn't use any of it because his hands coming in between his camera. You have a skin-tight Lycra bodysuit with balls all over you that you stick to everything. You're supposed to be making out with Léa Seydoux and you're banging foreheads on cameras. Same with Mads. And then Hideo will go, okay, pick up the baby doll and cry. And you're like, what about? And he's like, and you cry because the strand of the strand, you're like, I don't know what any of that means. I'm very sorry. I trust you, but I don't know what that means. And then he's like, look up, a whale. It's wild to work for him. I know there's a movie. I don't know anything about the movie at this point. Don't ask. Everyone keeps asking me during a ballerina premiere. He's great. I love him. Yeah, he's got really unique ideas where he thinks the gaming world will go next. They're kind of mind-blowing. Yeah, I'll tell you off camera.
Entertainment came full-time when I auditioned for Mad TV while I still had a city job. I did a major feature film. I was a spokesperson twice, once for Amana Refrigerators and for Burger King. And I was doing sketch and improv on the weekends and off Broadway. So for me, I did all of those things before Mad TV. Mad TV was my third series.
What are 5 of your favorites?
Baby Murloc, because it's iconic for World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
Seer Junda, because our energies are merged eternally.
Okay.
We're the closest as in Jedi energy and spirit energy. We're the closest in the Force energy. This character, Grace Walker, she is what I like to call the alter Negro. There's the alter ego and she's the alter Negro. And the other two, without a doubt, which I still do, for people, is Whitney Houston and Oprah Winfrey. My impressions of Whitney Houston to Oprah Winfrey. The one social media site I am on, someone convinced me to do it and said, I think you would really enjoy this, Deborah, and I think it would be a platform where you can be in a safe haven and have this great fun.
Going into the Hollywood business, you don't realize that your personal life drastically changes. It's like in Japan, I mean, maybe the longest you could be away, maybe 3 months away from home in the countryside, but we have amazing bullet trains that would take us back in just a few hours, and you're always able to, maintain your personal life. Whereas I had no idea what I was getting myself into, easily more than 6 months away from home. And that's just one project. And if you're lucky and book something else, I think I had a year when I was only home for 3 months. And so I think these are the things that kind of you have to learn. I had to learn as I went.
Do you like Mortal Kombat? Do you main Havoc in Mortal Kombat 1? Are you a fan of chaos?
Then I want to invite you to join me, Jacob Craner, voice of Havoc, in Mortal Kombat 1 for my very first print signing on January 30th at 10 a.m. on IG Live. All you gotta do is hit the link, order whatever prints you want, and on the day of, even if you can't join me on the stream, I will sign and send them to you.
That's the Havoc promise. Stay chaotic out there!
My favorite thing about me is that I try not to judge people. So I try and get on with everybody that I know. As an actor, one of my hello, car. Yeah. One of my strengths as an actor is, like I was saying, I was brought up being taught that everybody on a set is as important as everybody else. We're all one part of a machine, and we're all different. We're all different parts of it, cogs in the machine. And I think you have to give everybody in whatever department they are the respect they deserve. And I think that's a good thing as an actor.
Hi, welcome to Bedtime Ballads. Just catching up on a bit of reading, which you get to do a bit of during. If you're suffering from a bit of insomnia, it's always good to read a book, make you sleepy. But it's about time to sing a song, I think, so I'll put this away. And tonight I thought I'd do one of my favourite Beatle ballads. And what do you pick? Which one do you pick? More than likely written by Paul McCartney, because he wrote most of the ballads.
My name is Jesse Corti, and what I'm going to tell you is real. On January 4th, 1987, a passenger train en route between Washington and New York collided with a freight train. In the trial that followed, the engineer admitted to having smoked marijuana and overlooking security measures. They say that marijuana doesn't hurt anyone. But this time, 16 people died. Among them, Laura Corti, my wife.
Well, this production, this is its third year, and we've been doing it. Hollywood Presbyterian Church in Hollywood, they have been doing it since the late 60s, and they do it. This year, the last 3 years, we've been really upping the game, and it is a Broadway stage production, and it's in a 100-year-old Gothic cathedral.
Oh wow. Ma quanto vi ha aiutato quel lavoro a realizzare anche il lavoro sul film, a lavorare insieme voi due come coppia nella vita, ma anche insomma sul set?
Ma io penso che non possiamo dire nulla riguardando il gioco, quindi...
Lo so, ma ci ho provato.
Sì, quindi stiamo in silenzio adesso. Ma è diverso, sicuramente diverso. Per certi aspetti è più difficile, perché certo che uno ha una vita privata che si porta con sé, e quindi magari anche...
No, ma io sono sono stato e lo sono, e conoscendolo ancora di più, un estremo fan, no? Si dice così?
Sì,
perché penso che sia un regista veramente un grande artista.
Shut up! That's why your mama dead, Jack. Dead as hell. What shoes she got on? In her casket? That's why your granny ain't got no knees.
Opportunity for actors. I think it's important for an actor to base their success on whether or not they're growing as an actor, as opposed to whether they got a job, you know, this job or that job. It's more about getting better at what you do. And I think that this is at the heart of that. And it's not simply about sitting in a classroom and working on things. That's part of it too, or can be part of it. And in this case, it's a wonderful part of it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Tommie Earl Jenkins, a.k.a. Die-Hardman. Listen, I want to take this time to congratulate everyone at Kojima Productions on Death Stranding's 4-year anniversary. And a big thank you to all you porters out there for all your love and support over the years. You've all been absolutely amazing, so please continue to be so. Here's to the next one. Keep on keeping on. He remains a man of mystery to a lot of people, including but in the nicest possible way. I'll tell you, he is everything you would want him to be, in terms of he's nice, he's easygoing. I think he is an actor's director. He's hands-on. Someone else asked me once, you know, does he direct, you know, is he fully hands-on with everything in terms of, you know, motion capture and directing you guys? I'm like, he couldn't be more hands-on. He couldn't be more hands-on. It literally, he is there every day, every minute, and walking you through everything. His hands are always there. And he's incredibly open to suggestions, I think, from actors. And certainly I